What's up, amigos? You won't believe what just happened in Brazil. The Supreme Court Justice, he just did something that if it happened in the US, it would be the big story ever. Brazil is not a democracy. Brazil is a socialist country with a dictatorship. But the thing is, the dictator of Brazil is not the president, which is a con. But he's not the dictator. The dictator in Brazil is the Supreme Court Justice. So these 11 guys in Brazil, they do whatever they want. They put people in jail, they censor people, they torture people, they do whatever they want. And you may ask me, what it has to do with the US? It's a lab. Brazil is a guinea pig. So they're testing this new dictatorship in Brazil, and they are gonna come to the US. Like, have you heard of George Soros? Yes, these people are backed up by George Soros, USAID, and everything. So it's a guinea pig that is going around the world. So they are trying to bring it to America, the same thing that happens in Brazil, where the Supreme Court Justice, they just own the country. They do whatever they want. And nobody can do anything about them. Think about it. Look at the United States. Think about it if the Supreme Court Justice in America would be the dictatorship. And they would put people in jail. And they would create laws. And they would do whatever they want, because you may say, but the Senate could just impeach them. Yes, but in Brazil, they create a situation where the Senate cannot impeach them, because if the Senate do whatever they're trying to do, they go to jail as well. So this week, you have President Bolsonaro, which was like a President Trump in Brazil. So he went to jail. Why did he go to jail? For a coup. Yeah, like 70-year-old women with a Brazilian flag, they went to jail because they accused them trying to overthrow the government. Like, no weapons, no armies, just old ladies with a Brazilian flag. That's exactly what happened. So they just create something to put Bolsonaro in jail. So long story short, his son, Flávio Bolsonaro, now is running for president. So yesterday, Bolsonaro, who is in jail, sent a letter to Flávio Bolsonaro. So Flávio Bolsonaro read the letter to the people because it was a letter from Bolsonaro to the people. Now, the Supreme Court, Alexandre de Moraes, the guy, he's a Hitler in Brazil. So he decided that the Flávio Bolsonaro, who is Bolsonaro's son and Bolsonaro's lawyer, he is prohibited to talk to President Bolsonaro. Yes, you heard me right. The lawyer cannot talk to his client. The lawyer, it's and the son, because the son is a lawyer, he's not allowed to talk to Bolsonaro in jail for 90 days. That's what's happening. So this guy, he's Eduardo Bolsonaro, who is the son of President Bolsonaro, who is in jail, and his brother is running for president. And Eduardo Bolsonaro is he in the US because the dictator wants to put him in jail. So he escaped to the US. Look at him. He's going to talk to you about some situations.
I stopped my car here to do this video because the issue is urgent. Brazil Supreme Court Justice Alexandre de Moraes once again is abusing of his pen. And now he forbids the son of Jair Bolsonaro, Senator Flávio Bolsonaro, my brother, who is running for president, to meet with my father in house arrest, nowadays unfairly convicted for 27 years in jail, allegedly because allegedly coup d'etat. And that because Flávio released a letter of Jair Bolsonaro talking that Flávio is the only one who can speak in behalf of Jair Bolsonaro, because he said that he trusts in Flávio Bolsonaro and asks everybody to support his own son for running for president. This is the last hope, the last brief of the Brazilian, if we can still say that, democracy. I have to tell you that at least previously, in two different opportunities, Bolsonaro released the letters talking about the politics. Why previously these other two letters didn't have the consequence of censorship Jair Bolsonaro and not even allow his son to meet with.
Yeah, what he's saying here is Bolsonaro is in jail because of a coup that never existed. It's like a Disneyland coup. But the point is, now Flávio Bolsonaro is prohibited to talk to his father, but he's the lawyer. So the lawyer cannot talk to the client. And he says because Bolsonaro sent a letter, and these letters was used as for advantage. I don't know what the heck is happening to him. But this is the fifth letter. So why didn't the first, the second, the third, the fourth letter give you a problem? And when in the world a prisoner, even like an honest guy like Bolsonaro is in jail, cannot write a letter to his own son or to the people? Where is this? Nowhere in the world.
His father in house arrest. Second thing, why when Lula da Silva was in jail, he could release letters. He could receive hundreds of visits, dozens of lawyers, dozens of other politicians. And nowadays, Bolsonaro only can receive the visit of his own attorneys and his family, and not everybody in the family. Because I'm living exile in US, I cannot come back to Brazil. This is other issue.
Yeah, he cannot go back to Brazil. He is in the US. He ran away from Brazil because they want to put him in jail because he spoke to Trump. He is very close to Trump. So he spoke to Trump, and Trump was able to sanction this dictatorship in Brazil. So the dictator in Brazil want revenge and going after him because Trump punished him. It's an absurd.
I was convicted for 4 years and 2 months in jail because this crazy justice was sanctioned through Magnitsky Global Act. The sanctions against him and his wife, who is the bread maker of his system, they were sanctioned through the Magnitsky Global Act by President Trump, Secretary Rubio, Secretary Bessent. I'm only the person who is denouncing this abuse.
And he's just a messenger. He came to the US and spoke Trump because he's the son of Bolsonaro. Trump is a good friend of Bolsonaro. So he was able to talk to Trump, to Marco Rubio, and they did those sanctions against Moraes. In Moraes, he just went after the guy. And Moraes' wife, they got involved in this corruption scandal in Brazil where they got paid 129 million. Actually, the contract was 129 million, but he only got paid 80 million dollars. So this judge who make 40,000 reais a month, he has his houses worth over 30 million dollars. I mean 30 million reais, which 30 million reais would be like $6 million. But think about it. A guy who makes $8,000 a month having $6 million in properties. I think it's kind of hard for you to get that, right? Unless you're a politician like Nancy Pelosi and company.
Just denouncing the dictatorship going on. And now I ask you, my foreign friend, is that a democracy where you cannot even meet the leader of your political movement? Is that a democracy, a place where the Supreme Court, in a record time, convicts someone for allegedly coup d'etat, but everybody's looking that they only wanted to avoid him, Jair Bolsonaro, to run for president? Because if he could, everybody in Brazil would agree that he probably easily would be the next president of Brazil. Is that a democracy where most of the Brazilians are concerned, they are fearing to post their opinions on social media, reminding you that 65% of our voters, the conservative voters, votes using the social media, getting information from social media? Think about it. Share this video. Let's denounce what is going on, because the international community cannot agree with this kind of thing. where a justice, only one person from the Supreme Court, create new laws coming from his head.
Well, it's not only one. We have the worst one, which is Alexandre Moraes. But honestly, we have out of 11 judges, we have eight piece of garbage that shouldn't. They were unable to be even lawyers. They are a bunch of stupid people that politically they put it there. In Brazil, unfortunately, we don't have any standards, so they put anybody as a Supreme Court justice. Because as in America, you don't have like rules of who may be. I mean, very few rules or who can be the Supreme Court justice. But in America, you have standards. So every, even the Democrats, the progressive judges, they have, they are judges. In Brazil, none of them are judges. It's just a joke. They just put his friends. Lula, who is the president of Brazil, just put his friends as a judge. Friends, totally incapable of judging anything of work. People who are lawyers, like in like low class lawyers, they are the Supreme Court in Brazil. So it's very sad. It's just very very sad.
There is no base, even in the Brazilian law, to do what he's doing. And pay attention because on July 25th, the president of Argentina, Javier Milei, he will be in Brazil for the event which will oficialize Flávio Bolsonaro as our party runner for president. And President Milei asked to visit Jair Bolsonaro in house arrest. Let's see what this justice from the Supreme Court, Alexandre de Moraes, the bald guy, the same one who banned X from Brazil, froze Starlink accounts, the tenant Jason Miller, and issued arrest warrants against American citizens because posting on the internet from U.S. soil. Thank you very much.
My friends, yes, America is the greatest country in the world. If you have an idea what's happening in Brazil, it's like when I look at the Democrats here in America and they say they hate America. These people have no idea how great they have. So may God bless you. May God bless America. See you next time.